Welcome back to the Cabin Podcast. I'm Andrea Belke.
And I'm Megan Christian.
The Cabin is brought to you by the Wisconsin Counties Association and Something Special from Wisconsin. So today, I'm super stoked about this episode because I grew up going to the Wisconsin State Fair, and it's just a big part of Wisconsin's history. So we're going to do a deep dive on the Wisconsin State Fair. Now, we're going to talk a little bit about the history. We're going to give you an itinerary. We also actually have interviews from the State Fair, on the street interviews. And even cooler than that, we have one of the top pig showmanship specialists in the whole state here.
Yes, we have my very good friend, Isabel Doherty. Welcome to the Cabin, Isabel.
Hello, welcome.
How's it going? How's your summer going?
Wonderful. Crazy busy, but it's good.
I'm sure. With State Fair, are you like all over the place right now?
Yeah, so I'm actually too old for State Fair, but I have a million kids that I'm helping and that we've been working on stuff all summer, all spring. So I do lots of lessons and camps, and we're getting all of them ready for State Fair.
You're among the top pig exhibitors, not just in Wisconsin, but in the nation. Mm-hmm. Walk us through how you got started with all of this.
Yeah, so I've been showing pigs since I was 3 years old. And started at the local county fair level, did some jackpot shows. If you don't know what jackpot shows are, they're kind of like a point system. So imagine like race cars. Every weekend you go, you get some more points. So that's a really, really awesome way to get out every weekend. And then I traveled to the national shows. So that's kind of where I found my passion and my love, getting to meet millions of people all over the country. And then I got to serve on a national junior board where I ran those shows. So getting towards the end of that career, but really excited to see what's next.
Well, I think it's really cool that we have you because the whole beginning of State Fair was founded on agriculture. And I think sometimes you kind of forget that because the State Fair is a lot. You know it for the food, the entertainment, the rides. But, you know, it started in 1851. So we're on year 174. Yeah. There were a few years that were missed because of different wars and COVID. But it all started because of agriculture, doing like farm machinery, displays. So I think it's really cool to kind of go back to the roots and talk about what all goes on at State Fair when it comes to agriculture. So can you kind of just break down, you know, what all happens in regards to showing at State Fair?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different levels, different things that you can do. So there's open shows where anyone of any age can show their animals. They have them for sheep, swine, cattle, all the things. And then there's the junior show. So that's the big deal. So the female junior shows happen this past week on Thursday and Friday. And then the junior male shows, so your steers, your lambs, and your pigs, they will be happening today and tomorrow. And then they'll sell in the governor's auction tomorrow night if they're lucky.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this on Tuesday, the governor's auction is
Wednesday night.
And I remember I was showing at State Fair growing up. I showed steers. And to make the governor's auction is the most like...
Well, you guys have to talk to me about it because I didn't grow up doing this.
Yes. So essentially, I mean, it is an experience of a lifetime. It's something that every single kid looks forward to and works for all year. Especially with your cattle where you're getting them a whole year in advance. Pigs, you're getting in March, April, kind of same thing with lambs, but they're working every single day for hours and hours and hours. And that governor auction is for all of the male of each species, all the champion breeds. So imagine your breeds like a golden retriever or a corgi. All these animals have those same exact specifications for their breed. So one champion of every breed gets to sell in the auction. And then the coolest part is that they get to go into the Camp of Champions. So the Camp of Champions is going to be the weekend following. So as all the rest of the animals go home, they go their separate ways. The champions all get to stay and be recognized. And you get to do so many cool things in the Camp of Champs and meet so many people of your like-minded ideas.
I think we should also recognize that a lot of people have no idea what we're talking about.
Right. Naturally.
So I think what happens, because I grew up in 4-H. So for me, this all is so normal. I assume everyone knows what we're talking about when we're talking about showing animals. It's this very niche thing.
Yep.
It's very niche to the Midwest. I mean, there's fairs everywhere, but I feel like it's such a big deal in like rural areas and kind of in these circles. But for people that maybe have never even been to a county fair, have never been to a steer show, a pig show, can you kind of talk about what it is?
What it is, yeah.
What is showing pigs? What is showing steers? And how much time and effort goes into it?
Man, a lot. So I guess we'll start with the basics. You get them when they're really, really young, or you raise them yourself. So I was lucky enough that I had a lot of bred and owned animals, and now State Fair recognizes that in the governor's auction as well. But you get your animals, you spend months training them. Cattle, you'll get almost a year in advance, and it takes hours and hours. And with them, with essentially every animal nowadays, we're trying to get as much hair on them as possible. So you're spending hours a day doing, we call it skin and hair. So essentially your skin and hair routine, theirs is probably better.
Wait, for a pig too?
Yes.
Oh wow,
yes.
things have changed since I've been.
Yes, they've changed.
When I was in 4-H, you want to get so much hair on the steers. And
Yes.
so you actually put them in coolers.
Yes. Yeah.
So
Really?
They make their hair grow.
Speed up the process.
You build a cooler, a little building that you take the steer into every day, so you can get a lot of hair, because then you will trim them, so you can kind of make them whatever shape
Whatever
you
you
want.
want.
Yeah.
So I'm curious,
Make
what
their
is,
butts look bigger
Yep.
and stuff.
Yeah, all the
Yeah.
things.
because this is all for market animals, so it's
Right.
essentially they're judged for meat, and like how much market value they would have. But
Yes.
okay, wait, for pigs, what is the skin and hair routine?
Oh man, I could go on for an hour. But it takes about 25 to 30 minutes on each pig. Shampoo, conditioner, then you put their lotions, their conditioners, you blow it out just like a blower, like you would with your hair. Make sure they're dry. You comb it a million times to try and train that hair. We always say hair has memory, so we have to make it remember where we want it to go. That way when it comes to show day, you spray a little glue in, or hairspray if you will, little bit of paint, and spice them up.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane.
I hope you have video of this.
I will find some.
Because that's a better routine than most
Yes.
people.
Yes.
yeah.
Better routine than I have.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh my, that pig probably has way better hair than I do.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
insane. What would you say is your best experience so far showing pigs?
I would say that's a tough one. I would say showmanship's my thing. So that's my favorite thing. So if you don't know what showmanship is, it's when the judge is actually judging the person showing the animal. So it's not about the quality of the animal or how they did in the show. It's actually about the person doing it. And that's kind of where my expertise is, I guess. So I had a very, very special barrow at the Wisconsin State Fair. His name was Theo. And he was, he was like a person. He would move. I could just touch him and he would move and we would dance. That's what we call it. So winning showmanship at State Fair with him was a huge one for me, just because of everything that we went through that week and all the things. And we got to dance one last time. So yeah.
I love that. And that kind of leads me into talking about your book. Can you talk about the book you just came out with, Bye Bye Buddy, without getting too deep into the really sad parts of it? Can you explain what your book's about?
Yeah, so my book is for young kids who exhibit livestock, not just pigs, but any livestock that we spend all this time with them. They become our best friends, right? And people always would come up to me and ask, how do you do it? How do you let them go? And I say it never gets easier. The older you get, and it doesn't get easier no matter which one you have. It's a tough thing. And I knew kids needed a book that related to them. And especially I wanted it to represent show kids. So there's books about dogs and people and things. But there's not really a market out there for books about kids that show, and that are at this elite level and are doing all these millions of things every day that make the difference. And I wanted them to feel like they could relate to something and relate to how many kids go through that every year.
Yeah. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's tough because I grew up on a farm, and it is this thing where when you're showing animals, you do become best friends. I mean, I would, as a kid, sing to my pigs. I would be singing Amazing Grace to the steers.
Okay, that's a little actually morbid.
No, I mean, I was, a little kid, 9 years old. They were my best friends. So it's a tough kind of cycle to deal with. So I love that you have that book, because I think a lot of kids in 4-H don't know how to deal with it.
Right. Well, and I think a lot of even adults, most of the adults that read it are the ones that cry, but it's also teaching the rest of the communities that don't understand it. How could you let them go? It's like, okay, But when I had them, they had the best life you could ever imagine. Like, they ate better than I did. They were on a schedule better than I was. Their skin and hair was better than mine. Like, they have the life. And when it's time for them to go to market, it's a tough subject and it's hard, but you've given them the best life possible.
And becoming so close with them, I mean, you're training them. How long do you think you spend a day training a pig, especially when it comes down to crunch time for showmanship?
Yeah. So for showmanship, I do kind of like a routine, you would say. So I have different kinds of days, and I teach those to all my showmanship kids. But for me personally, the level that I was at when I was at State Fair, by just about this time or last week, my showmanship pig would have been able to walk for 2 hours straight without stopping. So and then I had probably 15, 20 pigs in the barn. So it was a full-time job for me, which is why I moved on to teaching other kids as my full-time job, because there's so many people that are looking to learn and looking to learn what it takes.
And I don't know if any of you have seen these videos online about where people are showing their pigs, but basically the gist of it is, and please correct me if I'm wrong, I was like pretty decent at pig showmanship back in my day, but you want to make sure that your pig is always presentable to the judge. If the judge turns around, you want to make sure you're getting your pig in front of the judge at a certain distance. And you want to always be giving eye contact to the judge and always showing the best side of the pig. So if you had to kind of break down your top tips for pig showmanship, things you got to remember, what would they be?
100% your first impression. That first 10 steps is going to win you a show. I don't know, it's gone viral in a million different places, but the Dodson family out in California, those videos, that's when you say show pigs, that's what most people think of. And they're doing a phenomenal job of marketing our whole industry, honestly. But your eyes, you got to look like you want to win. And then all the things that you said, the distance, the hitting the holes, we call them. So when an opening opens up, I like to I can pretty much relate it to any sport that a kid plays. You find those openings and you find those connections and you put yourself where they're looking.
Because all the pigs are in the ring at the same time. And so you're trying to stand out and make sure if there's this opening, you're there. So when the judge is panning around, he sees you, the eye contact. And when you make that eye contact, ooh, that was a good one.
You hold it. And that's one thing that I say to kids, if they're making eye contact with you, never be the first one to look away. And they transfer it to the rest of their lives.
Now, slight smile or no?
No, not my personal preference. There's a few judges that are like, you can relax, but 90% of judges nowadays, you want to be dead on. You're right. You're ready for it.
For someone who wants to get into showmanship, where do they start?
Start with your project. So start with your pig. Start working with them. Contact anyone in your local area. I have employees around the state that are also teaching lessons. But look up videos, do all the things. I think the amazing thing about showmanship is it doesn't take any money. There's pigs and there's steers. I'm sure it takes a lot of money. It is insane, especially nowadays. And you may not be able to win the show, but anybody can win showmanship. And that's what's so special in each one of these species. It doesn't matter what your animal looks like. I mean, skin and hair, presentation has to be right. But their structure, their muscle, all those things that go into the show don't matter anymore. It's about the kid. And that's why it's so cool.
That's a really good point. So because this is a whole different world that I think some people aren't familiar with, I mean, to compete at the top levels, when we're looking at just judging the animals, it's so expensive. I mean, what's the most you've ever heard of someone spending on a show pig?
Okay, so you have gilts and you have barrows. Gilts would be your females, so they can reproduce. So they have a little bit more return value. But it is, I mean, on a baby pig, like a little 40-pound pig, people will spend $20,000 to $30,000. Not at your county fair level. That's at your national level.
That's insane.
Could you even guess that?
For a living animal.
No.
Yes.
I mean, I guess when you think about like the Westminster Dog Show and these dogs that breed amazing but no, I never would have thought that.
No, and then your barrows, so your market barrows that aren't going to give you any return value unless it's in a sale, like the governor's auction. a good one at the top end at a state fair like our state, probably $5,000 to $10,000 you're looking at.
In order to compete at that top level at state fair, you either have to be in some legacy farm that is where everyone's coming to buy the animals, or you're spending that much money. So that's what I love about showmanship is anyone can do it. You can put the time in. Obviously, even with showmanship, like it costs money to take care of an animal, but it's a little bit more accessible to a lot of people.
Yeah. And even like at the county fair level, if you're looking for success, there are so many great breeders in our state. Our state really, really is high up there on the list. Everyone talks about Indiana, Iowa, all those things. But Wisconsin is getting up there, especially in the hogs, cattle. I mean, we have the May family. They've been dominating the country for years. And so I think finding your team is so, so important, and they'll help you, essentially like coaches, help you get to that next level.
Well, I was going to say it's incredible, and you've been to so many states. What would you say makes Wisconsin special?
I would say our family atmosphere. So like at the jackpot shows, they happen every weekend and they're all around the state. But we'll have a lot of Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota families come, and they just say it is just so refreshing to be around people that are cheering for each other, that are helping each other. I mean, sometimes it's a competitive sport. Imagine a club sport, right? And a lot of money, a lot of pressure, all these things. And in other states, it gets a little hostile. I mean, if that's the best way to put it. But I think in Wisconsin, we're doing a really good job of trying to remember it's about the kids. And that's the biggest lesson we can teach them. And actually in Wisconsin, we have on average, 85 to 90% of the kids are doing showmanship.
Wow.
And we'll have 4 or 5 classes of seniors. So that's your oldest division. In other states, like take Illinois or Iowa, they'll maybe have 1, maybe. So it's really, really cool to see our competitiveness, and then to see those kids travel nationally, and there's consistently kids in top 10 for showmanship or in the actual show. Our quality is that high.
Wow. For people that are listening that have maybe never checked out the animals at State Fair and they want to get a taste of it, they don't know where to start because it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of barns. You don't know where to go. What's your recommendation? Either certain shows to check out or different barns to walk through?
Yeah. So I think take a look at the schedule. See what you want to see. Today, if you're watching on Tuesday, all the market animals are starting. So your steers, your lambs, and your pigs. And my one suggestion would be, pig barn especially, if you're walking through on show day, be careful, okay? Because these kids, I mean, they're dialed in. But if you're coming on any other day other than Tuesday or Wednesday, walk up to any one of them and ask any question. We are all ready to answer. And I mean, constantly, do you want to pet them? Sure, go ahead. The only time you might want to be safe is show day, just because them walking through the aisles and everything, they're trying to get to the ring. This is what they've worked for. But go see what you want to see. And then if you really want to see it all in one package, visit the Camp of Champs on the weekends, because you have all of your best cattle, all of your best lambs, and all of your best pigs.
Wow. This is actually perfect timing because we got to go to State Fair. So we actually talked to some of the young kids that are showing, and we got to ask them their favorite thing about showing and being there. So take a listen. We're here in the pig barn, and who am I here with? What's your name?
Charlie June Doherty.
Charlie, it's nice to meet you. How old are you?
5.
5 years old. Do you have a pig here at State Fair?
Yeah, a lot.
You have a lot of pigs here. What's your favorite pig's name?
Fuzzy.
Fuzzy? Yeah. Aw. What's your favorite thing about showing pigs?
I like to turn them.
You like to turn them?
Yeah.
What else do you like to do at State Fair?
Ride ponies.
Yeah. What's your favorite State Fair food?
Hot dogs.
That's a good one. I like hot dogs too.
So Ivy, you show here. Can you tell me a little bit about what you show?
So right now I am showing the one called Later Gator and Stop and Stare. So those are like my top showing ones right now. She's a fall calf, so she's, even though she looks bigger than the one down there, she is younger, but they're Holstein, so they are bigger than others. And then my winter yearling Stop and Stare.
Okay, what is your favorite thing about coming here every year?
I'd say probably the memories you make every year. Like, it's such a fun place to be around everybody, and the vibes are so great around here, and there's always kids doing something fun, and you never know what you're going to expect every year, but I think it's always great to come, and you always make some fun memories.
Here in the rabbit barn, who am I with?
I'm Julia.
And who is this?
This is Kevin.
Hi, Kevin. He's a man of few words. Okay, tell me about the experience showing rabbits here at the Wisconsin State Fair.
Well, it's one of my favorite times of the year. Definitely. Right now we have the junior show going on, and then tomorrow we've got the open show. But yeah, it's just so great. We have a lot of exhibitors here today, and we're actually have the rabbit show going on today also. So it's just an exciting time, and I'm glad to be here. So.
And what kind of rabbit is Kevin?
So Kevin is an American fuzzy lop. He's one of a woolly breed, which is why he's so fuzzy. So, yeah.
And what is his personality like?
Oh, he's just like a little puppy dog. He just follows us around. He's super sweet. He's my mom's favorite, so.
And lastly, what is your favorite thing to do here at the Wisconsin State Fair?
Well, I always like to go to the big building and look around at all the different vendors and definitely get the taffy with the 5 pound, like try to get the 5 pound taffy for free. So yeah, that's one of my favorite things to do.
It was so fun talking to the kids. It kind of brings me back, Megan. I wish you could have been there.
I wish. I mean, I did get to like go visit Isabel at county fairs and stuff though when we were growing up. So her sister used to be my babysitter. So if that tells anyone how well we know each other, that should be it. But it is cool being an outsider and getting to see all of your accomplishments and other people's. But yeah.
Well, we talked a bit about pigs and steers, but there's a lot more animals than that at the fair and a lot more projects that you can do in 4-H. So talk about some of the other projects and the other animals.
Yeah, so there's pretty much any animal you could think of, they have at some point in time. So if you're looking to see something, my biggest suggestion would be to check out the schedule. At State Fair, everything comes in waves. So you come in or you leave on certain days. Nothing is there the entire time, and everything is not there the entire time. So if there's something you want to see bunnies, take a look at the schedule.
That's my
favorite. Go see the bunnies.
Okay.
Yes.
I love the bunnies.
Yes. I have to bring this up. There is a bunny hopping competition.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Crazy. So I never knew this existed. And if you're listening on Tuesday, you still have time because it was yesterday and then it was also today.
Yep.
And you can go and just watch. They have like a long jump competition. They have a relay.
They're track and field stars out here.
They really are. So there is a bunny hopping competition at the State Fair. And so I think that is a must-see.
Yeah, and it's right by the pig barn. So go walk up to the pig barn and then walk down there. We actually have frequented because it's just fun to watch. It's fun to see all the other projects, and it might be different than our world, but at the end of the day, it's all still for the kids working for that and that project.
Yeah, and there's horses, there's goats, there's sheep, there's,
everything.
All poultry.
Yeah, anything you could think of, and then you add on all the other projects like the quilting, the flowers, all of
artwork.
those. Yep, the artwork. Everything like that, and it's exhibited so beautifully in the pavilion down towards the south end of the fairgrounds. There's so many cool projects there.
Sometimes I think 4-H can be intimidating for people that aren't from rural areas or don't have access to farms, but you could do photography, art, quilting, cake decorating, archery. There's so many cool projects.
Yeah, there's so many that are so accessible to anyone. I mean, just go to your county fair extension office and say, hey, how do I get involved? You can do photography. You can do anything you want, really, and exhibit there. And most counties, you get a free pass to the fair all week for doing that.
Yeah.
So I would suggest it.
The Cabinet's brought to you by the Wisconsin Counties Association, and this week we are featuring Taylor County. Nestled in the heart of the state, Taylor County was founded in 1875 and was named after Governor William Robert Taylor. Taylor County was a major logging area built on hard work, dense forests, and a proud legacy that still shapes the community today. You can stroll through downtown Medford, the county seat, and enjoy the small town charm and cute local shops. You can take a step back in time at the Taylor County Historical Museum. If you love the outdoors, you are in luck. There are over 500 lakes and streams, plus thousands of acres at Chequamegon-Nicolet National Forest. It's a playground for fishing, ATVing, hiking, and snowmobiling. The Pine Line Trail is a must. It's a scenic 26-mile trail and great for all seasons. And if you like pizza, Medford is actually actually the birthplace of Tombstone Pizza, which I didn't know until now. And there's a giant tombstone-shaped sign where it all began. From supper clubs to the wild North Woods, Taylor County has it all. To learn more, go to wicounties.org.
For all our avid Wisconsin explorers, uncover the hidden gems of our beautiful state with something special from Wisconsin. Your journey just got a whole lot easier thanks to their treasure-filled interactive map. It's right at your fingertips and ready to guide you to the best local products and experiences Wisconsin has to offer. It pinpoints nearly 500 members, making it simple to find everything from artisan cheeses and handcrafted goods to delicious baked treats and unique gifts, all made right here in America's Dairyland. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway or just looking for a fun day trip, the map allows you to explore member locations across Wisconsin. Want to visit a local brewery? Check. Craving some fresh produce from a nearby farm? You got it. The possibilities are endless. And here's the best part. When you click on a location, you'll find detailed information about each member, including their products, contact details, and even links to their websites. It's never been easier to connect with local producers and support small businesses in your community and beyond. Make your next adventure a local one. It begins with one simple search, somethingspecialwi.com. And I mean, besides all these other projects, you can't forget to talk about the food at State Fair. State Fair is known for having some of the most wacky foods there is. I know this year they're having like a blueberry brat in this.
No way.
I saw a TikTok with all the State Fair foods this year.
Oh my gosh.
What would you say is your favorite State Fair food you've ever tried?
So I'm not adventurous. I don't go get the crazy things. But consistently the baked potato, the corn, anything in the Wisconsin Pavilion, that's where we frequent. The ice cream. I mean, you got to get
cream puff.
The cream puff.
We can't forget about the State Fair cream puff. You have some fast facts on that cream puff, don't you?
I do, yes. So cream puffs. Now they weren't originated in Wisconsin. They were, I think it's French, right? There have some French roots.
French influence.
Yes, but so it's a staple, and the specific recipe and tradition of the Wisconsin State Fair cream puff was created in Wisconsin in 1924 by Charles Creamer. He was a member of the Wisconsin Bakers Association. The governor, John Blaine, asked him to create a food to highlight the state's dairy industry. He developed the recipe to showcase the state's industry at the Wisconsin State Fair, came up with the cream puff.
It's also crazy that it's been such a long-standing tradition.
Right.
Yeah.
And huge. I mean, you go to the cream puff building and there's always a line. Always.
The longest line. You're waiting if you're getting a cream puff.
Also, no pressure. Can you imagine the governor in 1924 is like, hey, come up with like the best food ever to highlight the dairy industry.
My uncle always has to get a little pack of them. He goes to the State Fair just for those.
Yeah.
But we did get to try some of the foods with our buddy Josh on the podcast. You know him. But this is a video of us trying some of the fun foods.
All right, we're here at State Fair trying some of the best foods. We already had the ube, butter,
banana, French toast, lumpia. Now we're at the number 2 sporky, which is the brat ragoon. We're here at Wurst Bar.
There is a bit of a line, and Josh is going to give a really good description of the brat ragoon.
That's really good. It's a little bit of sweet and salty. It has little cuts of brats in it, some cream cheese on the inside. It has an Asian sauce to it that brings out the sweetness.
This is very good. It's very savory. Highly recommend.
Oh yeah. That sauce, any Buffalo Wild Wing fans out there, it's an Asian zing. Today at the State Fair, Pig Boy is coming out with a turkey leg and a pork chop on a stick. Really excited about it. We're gonna take some bites. Oh my God.
What'd you take a bite of?
I took a bite of the turkey leg. And next, that's the pork chop on a stick. That's a must-have. Any man can eat when he's hungry. It takes a real man to eat when he's full.
I'm so glad that we had Josh there to try the food.
I'm a picky eater, so...
Well, okay, moving on. I do want to list off some facts that I found really interesting about the State Fair, because I didn't realize how deep the history runs for the Wisconsin State Fair. And also what's really cool is over 1 million people have been attending recently. So that is more people attending than Summerfest. Not to make it some competition or anything. Love Summerfest as well, but I never would have thought State Fair had over 1 million people coming. I think 2024 was the highest attendance in modern years. And so that's pretty cool. I mean, like I said before, it's been going on since 1851. The first State Fair was actually in Janesville.
Yeah.
So it's really interesting. It's changed locations quite a bit. It was in Janesville along the banks of the Rock River for the next 40 years. It changed. It was in Milwaukee, Watertown for a year, then actually in Madison for a number of years. Yeah. So the State Fair was in Madison for a number of years at where is now Camp Randall.
Wow.
So they had it there. And then because it was the Civil War, they actually had to stop the State Fair and they made it a camp and a military training base. And then that's why it was named Camp Randall.
Wow.
When she told me that, I was
even,
like, I never would have thought.
Yeah, so I thought that was really fascinating. I'm trying to see who is it
State
named
Fair is
after.
coming up on 175 years too, which I think is just huge. Such a long-standing tradition. One of Wisconsin's many long-standing traditions.
Yeah. So I think it's interesting. It was named after Alexander Williams Randall, who served as Wisconsin's governor during the Civil War. And so he had requested that they actually shut the State Fair down and make it a training base. So that history is really fascinating. And then ever since, I think it was 1892, they decided on the location where it is now in West Dallas. And then ever since then, it's been there. So pretty cool history.
Yeah, so cool.
I mean, in the 1800s, it was very focused on farm and farm machinery and kind of showing those displays. Then it veered more into aviation and then war efforts. And then it became really focused on the entertainment and the food. And so it's evolved so much over the years. But it still has that kind of love for animals and agriculture at its base. I'm kind of curious, what do you think is the perfect day at State Fair if someone has one day to go?
Oh man. Start with breakfast in the egg pavilion. Then I don't know. I'd walk through the barns in the morning when there's less people. You get to see all the animals. You get to see the kids working on them. Most of the time, that morning hour is when they're washing them. They're doing all the things that they normally do. So that's a really cool time to see them work on their projects. And it's a little less crowded, a little bit cooler. And then go explore the rest of the fairgrounds. Go walk down to the expo building, walking through that in the heat of the day. It's air conditioned, so it's nice and cool. And then I always take the sky glider back naturally, so you don't have to walk all the way back through. Walk back, find your cream puff, and take a ride on the Ferris wheel to end your night.
And you were saying this Ferris wheel is one of the biggest.
Yeah, you'd have to fact check it. I think it's the largest traveling Ferris wheel. Possibly, I think for sure in the country, if not bigger.
Wow.
Yeah. It's pretty cool.
Dang. I need to go on it.
Well, anything else? Do you have anything coming up? I mean, now that you're kind of out of the 4-H years, I mean, what kind of stuff do you do now? I mean, I know that you do like training camps and stuff.
Yeah. So I actually do camps, lessons, clinics, all the things. But I have a summit leadership camp. So we had the first annual one this summer, and we're looking actually to take that nationally. So travel to different states, do a lot about how to show pigs, showmanship, all the things, but really dive into interview skills, talking, sales, all the things that you need to be a leader, working with a team and working with experts around the country.
Wow. Congratulations. That is just such a big achievement. And just getting to see you evolve. Oh, it's just so cool. It's so cool. Where can people learn more about your leadership expos, everything that you do?
Facebook is probably the easiest way for me. Lessons by Isabel is my Facebook page. I highlight all the kids that I work with. I'm really, really excited. We've had some really successful county fair kids. And then I'm really excited to see how this past week and this week goes for all my state fair kids.
Awesome. And where can people find your book?
Amazon. Yep.
Okay.
So Bye Bye Buddy is on Amazon. And it'll ship it right to you.
Perfect. Great. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Awesome. Well, is there anything we missed? Anything else you want to plug for yourself?
Oh man, I think just if you're going to the state fair, talk with at least one kid in the barns. I don't care who it is. I know they'd all be excited to answer your questions and get to know them on a personal level. So if you're ever asked a question one day, you can say, hey, I talked to this kid in the sheep barn and they told me all about their project because there are some really amazing human beings grown.
Oh, I love it. Well, this was such a fun episode. Thanks so much for coming in, Isabel.
Thank you for having me.
And it was so fun to get to go to the state fair. If you haven't gone already, go. It goes until August 10th. That's a Sunday. So be sure to go check it out. Go see the kids in the barn, see their projects, go eat some good food, get on the largest traveling Ferris wheel. But that is all we have today. 175 years of State Fair next year. So some pretty big things coming up for the Wisconsin State Fair. But until next time, we'll see ya.
Bye. August may be here, but summer isn't over yet, especially in Lake Geneva. The late summer vibes are in full swing. For foodies, late summer means fresh farm-to-table flavors at local restaurants and vibrant farmers markets downtown. Perfect for sampling seasonal treats like sweet corn and berries. For a wild adventure the whole family will love, check out the thrilling drive-through safari. Get up close with amazing animals from the comfort of your car. In Lake Geneva, there's fun around every corner. Up for a challenge? Put your skills to the test at Geneva National's latest entertainment playground, the dance floor, featuring over 20 illuminated holes of putt-putt, paired with surround sound, a cocktail bar, fire pits, and more. Check out visitlakegeneva.com before the summer season is over.
The Cabin is also brought to you by the WCA Group Health Trust. Serving local governments and school districts, the WCA Group Health Trust partners closely with members to fulfill their employee health benefit obligations in a fiscally responsible manner. Learn more at wcaght.org. Today's episode of The Cabin was hosted by Andrea Belke and Megan Christian and produced by Andrea Belke. Audio engineering and video teasers by Nick Cardarella and Megan Christian, with social media by Megan Christian. Production support by Gavin McLean. The Cabin is a production brought to you by Discover MediaWorks. To learn more, head to discovermediaworks.com and don't forget to leave a review.